And here we are at Biloxi Bay RV Resort. Now, as you're pulling into the resort, one thing to note, watch out for this sign because there is no turnaround for RVs on this road, and trust me, you don't want to pass it up. I don't know about personal experience or anything. So as we pull in, we can see there is a lot of construction work that is going on at this park. Now, it looks like they're building out some new sites, they're building out a water park, and a bunch of other things that will entertain guests here on the property. So I think that there is a lot of potential ahead for this place. Right over here to the right, we do have a little walking trail. Now, this is not a let's get fit multi-mile walking trail. It's just a nice little path around. I would imagine they're probably going to add some landscaping and things like that out there, but that is how it is right now. One thing to note, it doesn't completely loop around. There is a little bit of a gap in the concrete there, so just wanted to let you know. As we make our way around, we can see that there is a water park here, like water slide area. It is still very much under construction, so that is one piece of things to keep in mind. Over here, we do have a lazy river. Now, that lazy river looks like it's mostly completed, so I think that you can get in there. At the time we're here, which is mid-March, it is still very much under construction in a lot of these places, so just keep that in mind. And that's just throughout the park. You'll see there's a lot of areas where there's dirt and things like that, so that is just one thing to note. As we make our way back here, we can see that beyond this here building, I'm going to pull around. We're actually in the RV storage area, but beyond this building, we do have a like pickleball, tennis court kind of thing down here as well. So whenever you check in, you actually don't necessarily need to go to the office. You will be presented with a welcome sign here that will guide you in the direction of your site. In the email that you receive, they will let you know how to get into your specific site and what your site number is. So that's really nice that you don't have to stop in the office. Now, that does come with the con that there is no one guiding you to your site. And some of these pass-through ways can be a little bit confusing because there are several one-ways. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about some of these sites. So we've got a back-end site over here where this voyage is. This is site number 1. So you can see they're not super huge sites. We got site number 3 next door to that, and then we've got site number 5 next to that, and so on and so forth. So that's how we progress down this road. And again, these aren't huge sites, but one of the things that I do like about these sites, and you'll see this even more when we show you around at our site, is that they do have a little bit of an area where you can park your vehicle alongside the RV. So this is one section of the park, and I'm not sure exactly what the defining line is between the two types of sections other than maybe potentially the site types, but there are pull-throughs and back-end sites on both sides of the park, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now, as we come up here, this site next to this Columbus is site number 21, where the Columbus is site number 23, and you can see that we do have a wooded background area over there as well. Now, as we keep making our way around this loop, I'll call out some sites that I think are probably pretty nice. Starting with this right here, which is site number 33. Seems very private and kind of tucked away, so that's really nice. And we have site 35, where this avalanche is. These sort of get you some of the views of the water. So we've got 35, 37, 39, etc. So you start to have some of the actual bay in your background as well. Now we will show you the inside of this as well, but this is the clubhouse area here. This is where your restaurant is. The restaurant is really just a food truck. They've got pool. They've got pool as far as a pool table in addition to a swimming pool They have cornhole and all of that over there as well. This is site number 47 if you want to be really close to the action, followed up by site number 49. And just for reference, what we're seeing right here is site number 57, 59, 61, so on and so forth. And you can get an idea for, again, the different size vehicles that we have in these, in each area. So we've got a pretty decent size Class A vehicle coming up here. And you can see that this thing pretty much takes up the entirety of the spot. So there's not a whole lot of space to park in front of it, but again, they do have a little nook that you can park your vehicle in at each of these sites. All the sites do also come with a picnic table. So that's a really important thing to note, is that you do have a picnic table at each site. So if you want to pop out your own chairs, you can certainly do that, or you can take advantage of the picnic table as well. All right, so we are now on the other side of the park, and you can see that we've got pull-through sites over here on the left in addition to back-in sites over on the right. So the site that we have right here first coming up is site number 111, and then naturally they progress in two. So we've got 113 next to that, 115 next to that, and so on and so forth. Now, one overall comment that I have about these sites is the way that and this might just be the general vibe of the area where Biloxi is, and being close to the water and everything like that, there is very poor water retention here. So when it rains, if you're here and you're attempting to set up, good luck to you because you will probably have lots of puddles, lots of water that needs to drain out, things like that. So that's just one thing to really keep in mind. As we get up here again, I want to show you some sites that I think are really nice. Where this Sabre and Voltage are parked are sites number 145 and 147 respectively. These are right backing up to the water on the property, so that is really nice. And then level setting again, where we have this site here is 163, we have 165 next to this Flagstaff, and then Flagstaff is in 167 accordingly. And this row is primarily back ends, and you can get an idea again for how big some of these sites are. Now there is a little bit of oddity as it relates to how you're able to get into some of your spots. For example, the site that we're in, we actually have to maneuver around in a bit of an odd way in order to make our way to our site if we don't park behind it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that once we actually show you the site. So if you've brought the littles with you, you do have a playground area here that's kind of smack in the middle of Campground 1, I guess I could call it. It's got a nice sand area so they can build sand castles and all that fun jazz. They got swings and other playground equipment as well. If there were one thing that I could call out that would be the deciding factor or the dividing line between a RV park and an RV resort, it would be something like this. As you can see, we have a beautiful open air clubhouse section here. We've got a pool deck with views of the bay, when I tell you luxury, I mean, come on now. This is just pure luxury. Let's be honest. This park isn't necessarily perfect, but the luxury stamp of approval is here for sure. Now, as you make your way back in, you can see it looks just a tiny bit eerie, not completely off-putting, but definitely a bit odd when there's no one here enjoying the space. And then, of course, you can see there's a nice fireplace over here. There's plenty of seating. They've got cornhole boards. Do they call them cornhole boards? I don't know. I don't play cornhole. Anyway, they do also have a food truck over here on the right. They serve a variety of meals throughout the day. We did have an opportunity to stop by and grab some breakfast, and it was pretty delicious, if I do say so myself. Out here, once you step outside, you can see that you do have an open seating area as well with some grills and tables and all that fancy stuff as well. Highlight of the resort for sure. So now we're going to take a look inside of the comfort station, aka the bathhouse. I'm going to show you the laundry area and one of the bathrooms. So let's go take a look. So here's a quick overview of one of the bathrooms here. Now, they do have private individual bathrooms here, so this is really nice. You have a vanity area here with a sink, your own shower area, which is pretty nice and spacious. And then you also have a toilet area as well. So it's like having your own small bathroom, but inside of an RV park. Let's take a look at the laundry area. So you do have washers and dryers inside of the laundry area. It looks like these are $225 a piece, and this particular room has 2 sets. They do have a laundry app, which is called CSC, and then they also take quarters as well. So no matter what, you'll be taken care of. Now, one thing to note, they do call out, you must supply your own quarters. So be prepared if you're coming in to do any laundry here at the park. So one of the things to know is whenever you are in this site like we're in, or the site next to it, which these are 138 and 140, and likely the other sites next door to it too, this street back here is a one-way street. To get down this way, you actually have to make a turn in here. So I'll show you a little bit more about what I'm talking about here. So there is a little bit of a turn in that you have to make on the side of where this particular Class A is. Once you make that turn in, you're able to pull down and actually back in to your site. So that's just one thing to note whenever you're booking a site at this park, and if you're on this, I guess, the premium pull-through site row. So again, we're in site number 138. Next to us is 140. Next to that is 136, and so on and so forth down the line. Now, they are pull-through sites, so that's great, but the parking situation is a little odd. And then you do have what's nice, you're right across from this little pond here that is just a nice man-made pond, so that's nice. And then you also have a small little gazebo section over here as well. All right, y'all, and here we are at our site. This is site number 138. It is a premium pull-through site. Now, we've got plenty of space for our rig, and just a reminder, this is the 36-foot fifth wheel and our truck. But the thing about it is you can see that the truck has to be kind of bumped over in order for this all to work. But they really designed the sites pretty well in that respect, because you do have a site, a place to park in the rear and a place to park in the front, should you choose to do so. Now, as I said, we do have a little bit of a drainage concern, if you will, as it relates to these sites. So as we were setting up, You can see where our site actually has a lot of grass and stuff like that in the hookups area. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is as this water is here, it's going to make it increasingly difficult to get things connected. In terms of power, we've got 50 and 30 amp connections. Didn't have any issues whatsoever with the power so far during our stay. You can see that again, we've got pretty solid connections there. What I will say, my biggest complaint is with the sewer connection. So the sewer does not run downhill. So it is a little bit elevated off the ground. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And it does cause a little bit of issues as it relates to us actually getting everything drained out. So with that said, y'all, that is a review. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, ring the notification bell, and until we see you out on the road, please enjoy staying in the RV.